Pleasure. You have those forms on your tables about the Saints Hall of Fame induction luncheon on October 17th. If you're interested, it's at the Hilton Riverside at noon. Drew Brees to be inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame. We're honoring longtime Saints press box public address announcer Doug Morrow as well, with deep ties in this community to De La Salle, Jesuit, and more. So I hope you'll have an opportunity to be part of that. Our next speaker, well, he's a native of Huntsville, Alabama. He's entering his first year as the head coach at Tulane. He led Troy to a brilliant 23-4 record and 2 Sun Belt Conference championships on his way here. Of course, he's not new to these parts. He was Tulane's co-offensive coordinator from 2012 to 2014 and was an integral part of the team reaching the RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl for the Green Wave in 2013. He previously worked at Troy as an assistant at Ole Miss, San Diego, and at his alma mater, Kentucky, where he played for the Wildcats. Tulane, of course, is getting ready. It happens fast. Season opener is Thursday night at Gilman Stadium against Southeastern Louisiana. The former Tulane coach, Frank Selfo, on hand there for that one. So we hope you'll be there. There'll be a lot of green in the stands, both sides, hopefully. And we wish them nothing but success. I'm quite sure that's coming with this particular individual. Please give a warm welcome to Tulane head football coach John Sumrall. John?
Appreciate that introduction, Ken. Share one anecdote about Ed Daniels. So Ed's always good to me when I was assistant coach at Tulane. Kept in touch here and there through the years. When I returned, Ed showed up to a lot of our spring practices, and we lost a veteran kicker off the team last year. I wasn't the head coach at Tulane last year. Willie Fritz was. And so our field goal kicker, our place kicker, graduated. His backup had left by the time I got here. And the kicking situation, I didn't really get it fixed through the December transfer portal. So Ed comes to practice and watches our session of kicking field goals at the first part of practice. And I go to the media availability afterwards, and we're walking out, and Ed grabs me and he goes, "John, how do you feel about your kicking situation?" Well, we went like 0 for 10 that day. And I think he knew the answer. I said, "Ed, not very good." I feel a little bit better today. We fixed that problem, but Ed always had a great way of asking real questions, difficult questions, questions that made you think. And he was so detailed. And I don't care if he covered the Saints, Tulane, UNO, high school football, or he could probably show up to a park ball game and cover it like it was the Super Bowl. He had that way about him, and he made everybody feel special and unique. Brody, congratulations on your recognition today. Sounds like you might have some grades to go to Tulane, man. I'm not trying to recruit you yet, but we might talk later, right? I feel honored to be up here with Freddie. I got an 11-year-old son. If I told him I was on stage with Coach Manali and Coach Monica from Jesuit and Rummel, he'd be in awe of them and probably be asking for an autograph. So love these guys. Love the high school coaches in this area. You know, I see Coach Roth here. We've got so many good high school coaches in the greater New Orleans area. We're so privileged, and I've loved being back and knowing so many of them for years, getting reconnected, and seeing the quality of high school football here is exciting. It makes putting together a winning program at the college level a lot easier too. As Ken said, we open our season this Thursday night against Southeastern Louisiana. This season we carry about 120 guys on our roster. We've got 58 new players. When I showed up December the 10th, I accepted the job December the 8th, had a couple of days to say my farewells to the kids on our team at Troy. I met with every kid on my roster there just about one-on-one before leaving. And I got here December the 10th, and there was several guys leaving for graduation. Some guys declared for the NFL, Michael Pratt, the quarterback. Some guys going to the transfer portal, and this day and age, that's the nature of the beast that you deal with. We've got 58 new players out of 120 guys. That's exciting. It's kind of fun and it's kind of scary all at the same time. But the world we live in now in college football is not quite the same as it used to be. You used to recruit a guy, and you knew you had probably 4 or 5 years to develop them and see maybe where they could become. You're still in the developmental business, but it's almost like year to year you're building a team for that year while trying to establish program values and standards. And I'm excited about what's ahead. We've added some key pieces, like I said, 58 new players. 10 of those new players will start Thursday night. So 10 of our 22, I'm just talking about on offense and defense, 10 of the 22 that go out Thursday night will be their first game wearing a Tulane helmet, which is once again exciting and scary and fun all at the same time. The talk of our training camp, a lot of people want to know who's going to be the starting quarterback. Like I mentioned, Michael Pratt. I begged him to come back, but the NFL was too enticing, and Pratt's been a great ambassador for our program. But the quarterback competition, really, I'll tell you a story. I met with Michael Pratt when I took the job. I sat down and I said, hey, you know, you were here for a pretty amazing turnaround. You know, 2021, Tulane went 2-10, and the next year goes on to win the Cotton Bowl. And it's like, I thought I was a part of a pretty impressive turnaround at Troy. They had gone 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, and we went 12-2 the next year, my first year. Well, 2-10 to 12 wins in the Cotton Bowl that's unbelievable. And so I asked Michael. I said, you know, talk me through maybe what wasn't going right during those lean years to what really revamped this thing and got it going. And he was great to share some insight as to what had happened in the program to help get it back on track. And then I walked through and I said, all right, take me through the quarterback room. What am I walking into? And he said, well, we've got a couple guys returning. And he kept talking about this youngster who we got that's a redshirt freshman who's never played a college game. He was very confident in his ability. And I'm like, yeah, he's a redshirt freshman, like, whatever. Well, I go through spring, and in my mind, we got a two-man competition at quarterback. But the youngster kept showing up. And summer, I still think I got a two-man competition at quarterback, and the youngster just kept showing up when his moments arised. And we go through training camp, and I'm not going to name the starter today, but he's going to play some football Thursday night. He's never taken a college snap, so that definitely is also exciting, and once again can be scary. But he's been ready for his opportunity. I think there's a chance we'll play all three guys at some point this year. I'm not guaranteeing we'll play all three on Thursday night. We've got a couple of things where we might play two guys at the same time just to give the defense something to figure out. Might use one of them kind of like Taysom Hill a little bit with the Saints. Whoever plays quarterback for us has got good people around him. That's been my message to all three of the guys that have been in that competition is we return an offensive line that's top 10 in the country for experience. Now, not all that experience was at Tulane. Our starting left tackle, Derek Graham, he was with me at Troy, and he started for a couple years. When I came to Tulane, he went to Texas A&M, and then he found his way back home, and he's here with us. He'll start at left tackle. Our starting left guard, our guards are Josh Rimitich and Shadre Hurst. Josh is a local product, went to Holy Cross, has played a ton of football at Tulane. Shadre's the other guard. Shadre was on the team last year and started a handful of games. And right tackle, Ra Green, who's been a couple-year starter at Tulane as well, is with us. And our starting center is going to be Vincent Murphy on Thursday night. Vinny's a unique story. So Vinny went to South Carolina out of high school, and Eric Wolford was the O-line coach. Will Muschamp was the head coach. And I was in Kentucky at that time as a co-defensive coordinator. So go to Troy to be the head coach. Vinny, when Muschamp gets let go, Vinny transfers to Western Kentucky. We played Western Kentucky the last couple of years. And I remind Vinny all the time, we beat them both times. We did not lose to Vinny in Western Kentucky. But Vinny goes to the transfer portal about the time I take this job. And Vinny's high school coach is Roger Harry at St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And Roger and I talked, Vinny and I, we got Vinny on campus, and he commits to coming to Tulane. But there's nothing you can sign that's binding when you're a transfer, like a national letter of intent. You just show up and start class. That's what binds you. And so Vinny had committed to us verbally. Well, I don't know if you watched the semifinal game with Alabama playing Michigan, and the center couldn't snap the ball about half the time. It was rolling down on the ground. Well, after that game, I get a call the next day, and Vinny's high school coach, Roger Harriet, says, hey, I'm sorry it didn't work out with Vinny. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought he was coming to Tulane. We were all good. He goes, yeah, Nick Saban called him this morning. He's going to Alabama. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I got him penciled in to be our starting center. Well, 2 days later, Nick Saban retired, so Vinny's at Tulane. All right? So, So the trickle-down effect of Coach Saban retiring positively affected us. All right? But our O-line's very experienced. We got a running back who was a freshman All-American last year, Mekhi Hughes. I think you're going to see pretty heavy doses of him early in the year to let our quarterbacks get their feet settled. Our tight end room is solid. Alex Bauman's kind of the household name there. Cotton Bowl hero a couple years ago. At wide receiver, the 3 starters are going to be Dante Fleming and Mario Williams and Yule Keith Brown. Mario is already a fan favorite at Tulane. Mario was a freshman at Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley. He was a freshman All-American as a wide receiver. Then he goes to USC with Lincoln, and he has similar numbers as he did as a freshman at USC. He had about 500 or 600 yards of offense. And as a junior, didn't play as much, didn't get as many opportunities. And but his sophomore year, in the Cotton Bowl game, he's the one that muffed the kickoff on the goal line to set up the safety for Tulane. So our fans loved him before he ever put on a Tulane uniform. All right? Now we just hope he makes better decisions on kickoff return. But defensively, that's probably where the biggest attrition on our roster occurred. When I walked in the door and I was kind of evaluating our secondary, I thought, all right, is there anybody left? I mean, we got one guy, Slim Despaney, who's from Karen Crow, who's a starting safety for us. But everybody else in the secondary that's going to start Thursday night, they're brand new. I mean, like brand new. Now, one of them's our nickel, who was with me at Troy, who he'll end up being a draft pick. You can remember his name. His name's Caleb Ransall. He's a real deal. And our 2 corners are also transfers. Defensive line-wise, Pat Jenkins, who's from John Ehret, so a local product, went to TCU and then came back home. It's kind of the bell cow up there. Eric Hicks is going to start at nose, and then Aiden Huntington, who is at Louisiana Monroe. We in the recruiting battle in the transfer portal on him beat out Oklahoma, which was a big win. So those are the 3 guys that will go out first on the D-line. Inside linebacker, Tyler Grubbs, another local product, is going to start for us, and he's been a really productive player here. We went to La Tech originally. You can catch the theme of college football right now. I'm telling you where everybody was before they came here. So, but we're excited about the season. You know, first game, you never know what's going to happen. You guys are a lot of times playing with a new team, first time out there under the lights. We've been hitting on each other for about a month, and I look forward to watching them cut it loose. We've got a fantastic and challenging non-conference schedule. We play Southeastern Louisiana, which for an FCS game, I've asked my AD to always play an in-state team because I think it's good for our state for us to play each other. And then we play Kansas State week 2, Oklahoma week 3, and then Louisiana Lafayette week 4. So non-conference is going to be good and challenging, and then our league is improved. So I'm thrilled to be here. Love the city of New Orleans. Love Tulane. And I'm still don't have a loss on my record, so everybody likes me back. So appreciate y'all being here. Let's do it today. Roll Wade.